Collective bargaining is a very important tool in industrial relations. We studied the meaning of collective bargaining and the process will reiterate the same thing. What is collective bargaining? Take any issues you have with management, you are an employee or a group of employees, you have some issues with management, issues related to your work or your family or your financial aspect, salary, bonus. If that issue is going to discuss with the management, how you are going to discuss, who is going to discuss, what to discuss, and what is the conclusion, and who is implementing what, that all collective bargaining. Suppose you feel or a group of employees feel you are not working in a proper environment or you have a problem with transportation or you have a problem with the food or you have a problem with your salary, your compensation. So you are going to talk this issue with the management. So you have to select one representative who is going to talk what is the issue, on what basis you are going to talk, and what is the possible solution, and what you need to do, what management need to do, and what is the conclusion, what is the decision made by management or you, and what is the action, everything you have to follow. The process and the same is known as collective bargaining. We are given the step-by-step process here. The first thing is you have to prepare yourself for the negotiation. That means prepare means you have to form the team who is going to talk, who is the spokesperson from your side, the management side, who is going to represent your team. So what is the issue you are going to talk? You are going to do that preparation in the initial stage. Then what are your demand? What are the issues? So the person who is going to talk, who is going to represent the team, should aware of all the demand, what you are going to talk, what is the issue, what are the problem, and how you are negotiating. You should have a strategy to negotiate. For example, if you are talking everything at one time or one by one demand you are going to resolve and discuss with the management. There are two approach, piecemeal approach, total approach. So we discuss about that. If we are going to discuss one by one issues, that is piecemeal approach. So once you finish issue number one, demand number one, then you go to issue number two. That is one by one you are resolving issues. Or you can discuss the entire thing. These are the issues we are going to talk, how the management is responding. You are going to discuss everything in a total approach. So that are two different negotiation techniques. And whatever the issues you are talking, based on the issues, based on the demand, you should have different strategy. Suppose you know the organization cannot help certain things. Suppose it's a very time consuming or it's not, the organization is not listening to that, the organization is going to a critical situation, the financial aspect is not good, so you cannot demand more salary. And the situation, you have to have complete understanding on these aspects: time, nature, and situation. So based on that, your bargaining strategy will depend. So based on that, your bargaining strategy. So when you are talking, you are having complete understanding on the company. Then after the discussion, who is agreeing on what is the agreement made, what is the understanding made, what is the conclusion. You have to document from both the sides, from the employee side, from the employer side. Then you have to act on that. Who is going to do what? Who is going to follow that action? Who is going to work on that? So based on that, you have to follow and you have to push that person to complete the activity. That is the main process of collective bargaining. So basically, we are talking on the issues what is faced by the employer and employee, and how you are bargaining and discussing that same thing between two parties, and how you are resolving that. That is collective bargaining. There are different types of collective bargaining in the same slide. There are four types it's mentioned: conjunctive, integrated, productivity, composite. What is conjunctive bargaining? Individual interest. Conjunctive bargaining means most of the times you have seen, suppose તમે negotiate કરછો, you are negotiating with the management and you are least bothered what management is thinking. You are only thinking your benefits. You are not thinking the benefits, the profit of the management, the company, the organization. So it is one-sided. You are only concerned about your interest. What suppose you are talking on behalf of the employee are not getting bonus for this festival season, so you are demanding that, you are negotiating that, so you are thinking about only your things. The organization is thinking, okay, this is the COVID year, company is not doing any profit, so company has decided not to give any bonus. So in that case, that is a conjunctive bargaining. So where you are only concerned about your benefits, your advantages. You are not thinking about the company perspective. Another type of bargaining is integrated bargaining, where you both are talking in the same way. That means you also understand the other party's concern. Suppose there are two parties that are discussing or bargaining. So each one understand everyone's concern. That means suppose you are thinking about organization situation, organization is thinking about your situation. So that is integrated. So both the parties are integrated and coming to a conclusion by discussing each other. They are concerned about mutual understanding, mutual interest. That is integrated. In the same example, suppose the employees are thinking one should get bonus, and the organization is thinking, okay, we are making loss, but still to retain the same employee, we can have a discussion or we can give a less bonus. We can have a open discussion with the team member that why you are not giving the bonus. We can compensate it in a later date. So that type of discussion, in that you can understand the organization, you can understand the organization is understanding your situation. So both are understanding each other. Mutually, you are coming to a conclusion and you are deciding the action based on the mutual discussion. That is integrated approach, integrated type of bargaining. Another thing is productivity. Employees try to increase productivity of them. So productivity bargaining means in that case, the entire bargaining is depend on the productivity of the employee. Suppose you are compensating, you are giving all facility based on the productivity of the employee. ସିଏ ଯେତେ କାମ କଲା ତାକୁ ସେତେ ପଇସା ମିଳିଲା। ଯଦି ତମେ ସପୋଜ ତମର ଗୋଟେ ପ୍ରଡକ୍ସନ କରୁଛ, you are producing 500 unit, so you are getting so much. Someone is producing 100 units, someone is getting this much. So you have defined that based on the production, you will give the benefits, you will give the salary. So there is no ambiguity. So based on the productivity, you are giving the any facilities, so salary or bonus or transportation or food. Suppose someone is high produce employee. Suppose one group of employees are producing high compared to other group of employees. So based on that productivity, you are deciding their compensation. So this is one type of bargaining. Employees try to increase productivity. Suppose you are talking and you are comparing the productivity from the last year. What was the productivity of the last year and what is the productivity of this year? And you are going going to the data in detailed way. Who has produced, how it, so that is one basis, one base for your bargaining. So that is one platform for your bargaining where you can measuring the productivity of the employees. Another type of bargaining is composite bargaining, discussion other than the wages. Composite bargaining is a very typical type of bargaining. Suppose you are talking one thing, along with that you are talking another thing. In the same example, suppose you are talking the salary, you are talking the wages. Suppose you are requesting or bargaining to increase the wage of 10% or 5% of this year for every employee. So that is the topic you are bargaining. Along with that, you are also including another discussion. Okay, even not 10%, if you are agreeing with 5%, give another 2% for bonus. So bonus was not in the list, but you are adding that along with one discussion, that is composite bargaining. So we are bargaining two things. The second thing is not in the list, but along with the topic, you are adding that. So that is composite bargaining. There is another type of, not in the list, but I can tell you that is something concessionary bargaining. Sometimes the employer give concession to the employee, or the employees are accepting concession from the employer. For example, the same example, suppose you are bargaining or demanding 10% of the hike wages. In place of 10%, the employer says, okay, I'll give a concession. Last year, I have given 10%. So this time, I will give you 8%. I will listen to your demand. So in that case, the company has given some concession because last year also he increased by 10% whatever the demanded percentage by the employee, or any concession. Suppose you are demanding for transport, and some employees are telling that, okay, you giving the taxi service from our home to organization to the office. So instead of taxi, you run a bus. So everyone will be happy and everyone will be satisfied. So when the transportation is there, instead of taxi, you run a bus to accommodate other employees. So that is a consistent. So instead of one demand, you are giving another demand, and you are giving a concession of the taxi service, and you are introducing a bus service. So that is a different type of bargaining. Primarily, you remember this four type of bargaining: conjunctive bargaining, where one is concerned about their own interest; integrated bargaining, where both the parties are integrated, are friendly, and concerned about each other; productivity bargaining, where everyone is measured through productivity, who is producing what. Based on that, you are giving all the comparison. Composite bargaining, where the discussion is going through along with the other discussions. For example, you are asking one demand and you are integrating another demand along with the demand one. I was giving the example wages and bonus. So you are asking for wages, but you are including the bonus. The bonus was not there in the list, but you are including along with the discussion because you are discussing already in the same context. That is composite bargaining. So these are different types of bargaining. And why you are talking all these things? Because this is one important things in the industrial lessons. I was telling in industrial lessons, collective bargaining was important tools are important features. You may get question on this. What is the meaning of collective bargaining? What is the process behind collective bargaining? What are the different types of collective bargaining? So you may get a lot of questions on this. Different possibilities are there to understand the process, meaning, types. Here, the meaning of industrial lessons is given. Industrial lesson implies the Relations between employer and employees during the period of employment in an industrial organization. However, the concept of industrial relations has a broader meaning. In a broader sense, the term industrial relations refers to the relations between various unions, state of unions, and between employers and government. Relations of all those associated with the industry may be known as industrial relations. So, industrial relations meaning all that relations between the employer, employees, government, anyone related to the industry, different trade union. So with that, your relationship with whom you are working, if you have a industry, you are working with the employees, employer, government, different legal bodies, judicial authorities, and different union, different group. So relations between all this aspect, all these groups, all these bodies. So that is known as industrial relations. According to the International Labour Organization (ILO), industrial relations deals with relationship between either state or employees and workers organization, or the relationship between the occupation organization themselves. So this is a definition given by ILO, International Labour Organization. Another few slides will understand the characteristics, nature, and scope of industrial relations. We'll understand the meaning of industrial relations. What is the importance of industrial relations? Why it is required? What is the different nature of industrial relations? What is the characteristics? Let's focus on characteristics. Following other significant features of industrial relationship. Industrial relations are the result of employment relationship in industrial enterprise. Industrial relationship conducted the concept and method of balancing the cooperating. Instrumental industrial relationship formulates rules and regulations, maintain harmonious relationship. The intervention of the government to shape the industrial relations is made through laws, agreement, rules, charters, etc. Industrial relationship incorporate both individual relations and collective relations. Several parties plays a role in industrial relations. The main parties are employees and their organizations, employees and their associations, and government. So, industrial relationship, what is the characteristics of industrial relationship? The main characteristics is it creates rules, guidelines, different laws, different charter. So that is what I mentioned. It formulate regulations and the relations between all these people, the employees, employer, the different unions. So when you have problem with all the parties, so it formulate different rules how to behave, what to behave, with whom. So based on that behavior, based on that response to each group, between this group, this employer, employees, and different unions, different legal body. So where you have problem, the communication, the interaction, the activities happening between all this group may create different problem in relationship. When Samaj is intervening, that means between this group, between these unions, between this government, let's say someone is intervening. The intervention of government to shape the industrial relationship is made through laws, agreement, rules, charters. So there are different regulation rules made for each activity. So how a government is responding, how an employee. The best example is suppose you have a industry, you have some production unit, you are producing something. So you made a rule that employees are coming on this time and going on that time. So everyone is following that rule. People are coming on this time or shift. You have introduced one shift, two shift, three shift in your organization. So people are coming on shift timing. So you made a rule that these employees are coming on shift one, shift two, shift three. So based on that, people are coming on different timing. So this is a rule. This is one agreement between you and employees to come. This is one characteristic. Like that, you have many characteristics how the industrial relationship maintained in different organizations. So one thing you studied the collective bargaining, that is a tool. The characteristics is the behavior, is the objective, or is the how an industry is behaving, that is the characteristics. And with that relations, when who are the party related to industry and how the relationship go bad or go good, based on that, how you will resolve this issues. We'll discuss another things going forward. So what are the different nature of industrial relationship, why this problem comes, and how this industrial relationship is going to impact the productivity, the economy. So we'll discuss all these things in the next class. In this class, the main thing you will understand the collective bargaining and the characteristics of industrial relations. We'll go through different slides to understand the nature and the impact of industrial relations. IR, industrial relationship. We'll analyze this better in the next class. Thank you.